Beloved chosen one, listen carefully. Your presence here is no coincidence. Long before this day arrived, heaven had already arranged your path so that you would encounter this message at the exact moment your spirit needed it. The living God has interrupted your journey for a reason. This is not chance. This is a sacred encounter, perfectly aligned with divine timing. You are standing before a breakthrough that reaches far beyond anything you have imagined. What God is releasing into your life will not only bless you personally, but it will also shape the future of those connected to your legacy. Faithful one, every quiet act of generosity, every sacrifice you made without recognition, every moment you chose mercy when your own strength was fading has been carefully remembered in heaven. While many pursued attention and praise, you pursued righteousness. When others ignored the hurting, you became a source of hope. When darkness surrounded you, you continued to carry God's light. Now the promise spoken over your life is moving into fulfillment. As Scripture declares in Galatians 6:9, those who refuse to grow weary in doing good will reap their harvest at the appointed time. That appointed time is no longer somewhere in the future. It has arrived. Chosen one, your faithful obedience has unlocked a divine release. The treasures reserved in heaven are being poured out, and every blessing you believed had been delayed is now finding its way to you with supernatural speed. You have arrived at the edge of a holy turnaround. Ready your heart, because everything you released in secret is preparing to return openly and abundantly. The seeds of love, kindness, forgiveness, and faithfulness that no one celebrated are about to produce a harvest that cannot be hidden. Draw near with expectation. Chosen one, because you were guided to this message by divine purpose. This moment was established long before you ever reached it. Every unseen kindness, every decision to forgive, instead of holding on to resentment, every encouraging word you offered while quietly carrying your own burdens has been witnessed by heaven. Not one sacrifice escaped God's attention. Not one tear was ignored. Every faithful step has been recorded, and every act of obedience is becoming part of the testimony God is preparing to reveal before your eyes. Beloved chosen one, hear these words once more. Your arrival here is not the result of random events. Heaven has carefully directed your steps so that this message would meet you precisely when your faith needed strengthening. The Spirit of the living God is reminding you that this is your appointed moment, a divine intersection where purpose and promise come together. You are standing before a supernatural season, unlike anything you have experienced before. The blessing God is releasing will extend beyond your own life and become a lasting inheritance for generations that follow you. Every act of compassion you offered when no one applauded, every sacrifice you made without recognition, every quiet decision to remain faithful has been treasured by heaven. While others pursued popularity, you remained committed to purity and truth. Though many overlooked your faithfulness, you continued to shine with God's light. Now His promise is becoming reality. The season of sowing has prepared you for the season of reaping. As Galatians 6:9 reminds us, those who persevere in doing good will receive their harvest at the proper time. That proper time is no longer distant. It is unfolding now. Your obedience has opened doors that no human hand could unlock. Heaven's storehouses are opening over your life, and the blessings you once believed had been forgotten are rushing toward you with divine precision. You are standing at the beginning of an extraordinary reversal. Strengthen your spirit, because what you faithfully gave away in private is about to return openly. overflowing beyond measure. This message found you because God intended it to. Nothing about this encounter is accidental. This moment was written into your story long before today. Every hidden act of kindness, every choice to forgive instead of becoming bitter, every time you lifted someone else's spirit while carrying silent pain of your own has been fully seen by God. Nothing you offered in love has been wasted. Nothing has been overlooked. Heaven has preserved every faithful act, and the reward appointed for you is drawing closer than ever before. Anointed one. While others chased influence, you chose integrity. While the world raced for applause, you walked the quieter road of humility. You gave not from abundance, but from obedience. You poured out when you yourself were in need of pouring into. You carried light into rooms where darkness tried to suffocate. And heaven wrote it all down as testimony. Your kindness was never small. It was spiritual currency. It was the seed of prophecy. I understand the weight you carried. I have walked through seasons where I gave while empty, where I smiled while my own heart ached, where I stood strong for others while secretly wishing someone would stand for me. Yet I learned that every act done in obedience becomes a key. Every seed planted in faith opens doors in due season. That same principle is alive over your life right now. Chosen one. Here is the revelation. The person you blessed was not ordinary. God shielded your eyes so you would not alter your kindness. You did not see the assets, the influence, the layers of wealth and power. You only saw a soul. And that is what made heaven move. Surrounded by people who wanted something from them, they encountered you. Pure, sincere, authentic. That shook them deeply. Now, behind the scenes, your name is alive in conversations you never initiated. Quietly, strategically, heaven is weaving your story into places you have not stepped into. You are remembered not for what you owned, but for what you carried, not for chasing recognition, but for reflecting God's presence in a noisy world. Your purity was thunder. Anointed one, prepare yourself. Your reward will not arrive as a simple paycheck. It will manifest as divine alignment. Doors you never knocked on will open. Favor you never asked for will locate you. Resources you never chased will be released into your hands. What you gave away in secret. Love, grace, compassion, sincerity is returning multiplied in public. Do not misunderstand the waiting. Every delay refined your motives. Every silence trained your ears. Every rejection shaped your character. It was not punishment. It was preparation. And now the fullness of time is here. The lock has been turning slowly. But now the door is ready to swing open. No man, no system, no enemy can stop what God Himself has scheduled. Chosen one, lift your head high. This is your season of supernatural transfer. What was withheld is being released. What was tangled is being untangled. What was hidden is about to be revealed. Your kindness was the divine trigger, and heaven's reward is the unstoppable response. Get ready because your obedience has set miracles in motion. Your kindness is about to pay off big time. And no one can cancel what God has already ordained for you. Chosen one, now that you understand the weight of your hidden obedience, let me declare what heaven is about to do next. God does not release reward casually. When He prepares to honor a chosen one, it is never small. It is never random. It is always precise, strategic, and overflowing. Every seed you planted in faith is about to multiply, not only in your own life, but in the lives of those connected to you. This is a generational blessing, and you are standing on the threshold of a supernatural transfer that will rewrite your entire story. Anointed One. Consider the life of Joseph. He was overlooked, rejected, and betrayed. Yet, every injustice became preparation for elevation. He did not rise by ambition. He rose by divine alignment. And just like Joseph, you too have endured hidden pits and silent prisons. But you never let bitterness replace kindness. You kept giving even when you were bleeding. And because of that, heaven has remembered you. Your season of remembrance has come. And just as Joseph was summoned to the palace at the appointed time, so too are you being summoned now. Chosen One, prepare for unusual doors. Invitations will arrive without applications. Phone calls will come from places you never dreamed of. Emails, opportunities, introductions, and alignments are already in motion with your name attached. Your feet may not have entered the room yet, but your spirit has gone ahead. Your name has been planted in conversations of power. Heaven has made you unforgettable. I know what it feels like to wait for years and see nothing move. I know the sting of working hard and still feeling unseen. But I have also witnessed how quickly God can turn the page. One moment you feel forgotten. The next you are carried into a new season that makes up for every hidden tear. I testify this to you. Anointed One. The same God who did it for me is doing it for you. He is faithful, He is timely, and His reward is already on the way. Understand this truth. Your kindness was not weakness. It was warfare. Every time you smiled when you wanted to cry, you broke an assignment of darkness. Every time you encouraged someone while your own spirit was weary, you planted a seed of breakthrough. You thought it was ordinary. Heaven calls it extraordinary. What you did shifted atmospheres and rescued lives in ways you may never know until eternity. Anointed One. Wealth is about to chase you down. Influence will locate you. Resources will align themselves with your calling. This is not charity from people. It is covenant from God. He is sending what you need so your mission can expand. Provision will no longer be your struggle. It will become your testimony. Your life will speak of abundance, not because you craved riches, but because heaven trusts you with stewardship. Chosen One. Lift your faith. Speak as one already blessed. Pray as one already funded. Move as one already appointed. The evidence is catching up to what God has already decreed. Do not shrink back. Do not question the timing. It is here. It is now. The kindness you sowed in silence has matured into a harvest of divine compensation. This is your prophetic hour. Your kindness is about to pay off big time, and nothing will ever be the same again. Chosen One. Lean in. What God is preparing for you in this next chapter will not only confirm your identity, it will astonish those who once doubted you. For too long, you have walked with quiet faith, sowing kindness in hidden places, releasing light into rooms that could not contain your fire. Now, heaven is declaring, the unveiling has come. Anointed One. The reward ahead is not just personal, it is generational. What you are stepping into will ripple outward to touch your family, your community, even strangers you have not met yet. The blessing that is about to pour over your life is so abundant that it will overflow to others. This is how heaven works. When God chooses to honor you, He makes you a conduit of His abundance. The same compassion you poured into others will now be multiplied back into your hands, so you can continue to pour without fear of lack. Think about David. He was anointed in obscurity, overlooked by men, yet chosen by God. For years, he served with loyalty while others underestimated him. But the day came when what was hidden had to be revealed. In the same way, chosen one. The oil on your life is undeniable, and the stage heaven has prepared cannot be denied to you. The very people who questioned your worth will see undeniable evidence of God's hand resting upon you. Chosen one, understand this clearly. What is coming is not random. It has been written into your destiny since before your first breath. The waiting was not punishment. The delays were not denial. They were strategy. Every tear watered the ground. Every act of kindness became a seed. And now, heaven's rain is falling and the field of your life is about to bloom with unimaginable harvest. Anointed one, you will step into rooms where your presence alone will shift the atmosphere, not because of titles or wealth, but because you carry oil that cannot be replicated. People with power will recognize it. Hearts will be softened in your presence. Doors will swing open that others fought for but could never touch. Why? Because you did not chase opportunity. You chased obedience. You did not beg for recognition. You chose to remain faithful. And faithfulness always attracts heaven's reward. Do not be surprised when favor becomes your new normal. Do not be shocked when financial blessings arrive in ways you never asked for. This is not luck. This is divine alignment. The wealth of the wicked truly is being stored up for the righteous, and you are about to walk into that inheritance. Provision will no longer be your fear. It will be your testimony. Influence will no longer be something you dream about. It will be the platform God places under your feet. Chosen one. Stand still. Breathe deep. Lift your hands in gratitude even before you see it. Because gratitude unlocks acceleration. Heaven has not forgotten you. The evidence is closer than you think. The reward for your kindness is not just blessing, it is transformation. You are stepping into destiny. You are walking into overflow. You are crossing the threshold of supernatural transfer. Your kindness is about to pay off big time and nothing will ever be the same again. Chosen one. The time has come for you to recognize who you truly are in God's design. You are not overlooked. You are not forgotten, and you are not common. Every step you have taken, even the ones that felt small or painful, have been ordered by heaven. The tests you endured were never meant to destroy you. They were designed to reveal the depth of your calling. Now you stand at the edge of fulfillment, and the evidence is about to manifest in ways that will silence every doubt. Anointed one, you must see your journey with new eyes. The seasons where you gave and received nothing in return were never wasted. They were deposits into a heavenly account. Each sacrifice was like a seed buried in soil. It may have seemed hidden, but under the surface, roots were growing, stretching, and preparing for a harvest. That harvest is breaking through now. Doors are opening, favor is pouring, and opportunities are aligning. What felt delayed is actually right on schedule. Chosen one, consider how Esther was hidden before she was revealed. For years she blended into the background, unnoticed by many. But at the appointed time, her presence shifted the destiny of a nation. In the same way, your hidden years were never wasted. They were your preparation ground. Heaven was shaping your spirit, refining your motives, and teaching you to listen in silence so that when the moment came, you would not miss it. That moment is here. Anointed one. The transfer you are stepping into will not be ordinary provision. It will be extraordinary alignment. People of wealth will be drawn to you, not because you asked, but because your spirit carries what money cannot buy. They will sense peace when you walk into the room. They will find clarity in your words. They will feel safety in your presence, and they will know it is divine. They may not fully understand it, but they will honor it. And they will invest into you as a response to what heaven stirs in their hearts. Do not shrink back. This is not the time to apologize for your anointing. This is not the season to play small. You have been through too much to doubt your place now. Stand in confidence. Not arrogance, but holy confidence. Lift your head and remember, heaven chose you. You are the vessel God trusted to carry purity in a corrupted world. That is why you faced so many trials. The weight of your calling demanded the refining fire. Chosen one. What comes next will leave even you in awe. Unexpected phone calls. Divine introduction. Resources released at the exact right time. All of these are aligning even now. You will look back and realize that every tear watered your future. Every delay protected your path. Every disappointment redirected your steps into destiny. Heaven has been carefully shaping every chapter of your life. And now the beauty of that divine work is beginning to appear for all to see. Chosen one. Prepare your heart to share what God has done. The blessing that is approaching your life will not remain hidden. It will be evident, impossible to deny, and powerful enough to change the course of your future. Those who questioned your calling or underestimated your faith will witness the unmistakable evidence of God's favor resting upon you. This victory is larger than your own story. It reaches into the lives of your family, your descendants, and everyone connected to your purpose. Your breakthrough will become a living testimony that inspires others to trust God once again. Your promotion is a declaration that the Lord never abandons his promises. Faithful one, this is the season you have been prepared for. Walk forward with confidence because heaven has already set the divine transfer into motion. Chosen one. Embrace this promise with unwavering faith. The transformation taking place is not simply about making it through difficult seasons. It is about stepping into a life marked by abundance. You were never created to spend your days worrying whether tomorrow's needs would be supplied. God has called you to live with overflowing provision, to influence the lives around you, and to reflect his goodness so clearly that others are drawn toward his presence. This is not an invitation to selfish ambition or earthly pride. It is the fulfillment of divine purpose. Heaven is placing resources in your hands because you have proven yourself faithful, humble, and dependable. Anointed one. Take a moment to remember the path that brought you here. Every unseen gift you offered. Every quiet act of obedience to the Spirit when no one else understood. Every blessing you extended to those who could never repay your kindness was preparing you for something much greater than you realized. What seemed like ordinary acts of faithfulness were actually laying the foundation for a far greater assignment. The generosity you practiced in secret has continued to echo through lives you may never fully know. And now those seeds are returning as a harvest that cannot be stopped. Chosen one. This is also why the spiritual battles around your life became so fierce. The enemy recognized the purpose attached to your future and worked tirelessly to convince you that your compassion accomplished nothing, that your generosity had no value, and that your prayers disappeared into silence. But those were lies meant to weaken your faith before your appointed season arrived. Heaven never overlooked your obedience. Every sacrifice was remembered. Every prayer was heard. Every act of love was recorded before God. And now the time has come for those hidden seeds to produce visible fruit. What once required tears and perseverance is becoming a testimony of God's unfailing faithfulness, and the blessings now unfolding will reveal that His timing has been perfect all along. But you refused to stop. You kept sowing. You kept loving. You kept believing. And now the harvest cannot be denied. The very areas where you felt most defeated are about to become the places of your greatest testimony. Anointed one, prepare your heart for the unexpected. Financial doors will open that you never knocked on. People of influence will extend invitations you never sought. Strategic alignments are being orchestrated right now in rooms you have not yet entered. Do not be surprised when opportunities appear suddenly, as if out of nowhere. This is the manifestation of years of hidden faithfulness. Heaven is repaying you openly for what you did quietly, and the repayment will speak louder than any enemy voice ever tried to whisper against you. I have lived this pattern myself. I have stood in seasons where I wondered if God saw me, where I questioned if my kindness mattered. But in time, I watched doors open that no resume could have secured. I saw provision arrive in ways that left me speechless. And I testify to you, chosen one. The same God who lifted me is lifting you now. He is no respecter of person. If He did it before, He will do it again. He delights in proving faithful to those who dare to remain faithful in obscurity. Chosen one. This is more than blessing. It is reversal. What was withheld is being released. What was delayed is being accelerated. What was stolen is being restored. You are stepping into a chapter where the scales are tipping in your favor. The voice of doubt will be silenced, and the evidence of God's hand will be undeniable. What once looked like a closed gate will suddenly become a wide pathway. Anointed one. Let this word sink deep. You are about to see why the pain was necessary, why the waiting was worth it, and why the kindness you gave freely was the key to unlocking your next level. Heaven's transfer has already begun, and nothing can stop it. Lift your head, steady your heart, and walk boldly. This is your moment. Your kindness is about to pay off big time, and your life will never look the same again. Chosen one. Hear this with your whole spirit. You are not walking into blessing by chance. You are walking into what heaven scheduled long ago. Every prayer, every sacrifice, every quiet act of kindness has been stored as a seed in the soil of destiny. Now the rain of God is falling, and your harvest is ready to break through. What once felt like barren ground is about to bloom with abundance. Anointed one. Understand this clearly. You are not being rewarded simply for surviving. You are being elevated because you remained faithful when everything around you told you to give up. Your loyalty to God's whisper. Your decision to honor others, even when you were hurting. Your choice to keep walking when you felt unseen. These are the reasons heaven has marked you. Your obedience has attracted the supernatural transfer that is already in motion. Chosen one. This is why the warfare was so fierce. The enemy was terrified of what you carry. He tried to bury your hope, silence your voice, and drain your strength. But you endured. And what you endured has now become the very evidence that you can be trusted with more. Heaven never wastes pain. Every tear was a testimony waiting to be revealed. Every delay was a setup for divine timing. Every disappointment was redirection into destiny. I know the ache of waiting. I know what it feels like to give when your hands are empty, to pour out when your heart is tired. to trust God when logic screams otherwise. But I also know the moment when breakthrough comes suddenly, when the phone call shifts everything, when the provision arrives without warning, when the closed door finally swings open, anointed one. That moment is on its way to you. And when it arrives, it will not just answer your need. It will exceed your expectation. The transfer you are about to step into is bigger than finances. Yes, resources will flow, but peace will also return. Joy will anchor you. Clarity will sharpen your vision. Favor will surround you. Broken relationships will heal. Lost opportunities will circle back. This is a holistic restoration. God is not just funding your life. He is aligning your steps, protecting your heart, and expanding your influence. Do not shrink back from this. Chosen one, you are ready. The years of fire have forged strength in you. The betrayals taught you discernment. The silence taught you patience. The hidden years taught you humility. You are not stepping into blessing unprepared. You are stepping in seasoned, wise, and anointed. Anointed one, lift your eyes. Imagine the doors opening, the introductions being made, the resources flowing without struggle. Others will call it luck, but you will know it is divine alignment. Others will call it sudden, but you will know it was scheduled. This is your moment to walk boldly into the evidence of God's promise. Receive it with thanksgiving. Carry it with humility. Use it with wisdom. Chosen one. Get ready. What once felt like survival is transforming into overflow. What once looked like defeat is turning into testimony. The supernatural transfer is not a dream. It is your reality unfolding now. Your kindness was the seed, and your harvest is unstoppable. Walk forward with gratitude and holy confidence. For heaven has declared, this is your hour, and nothing can stop it. Chosen one, you are closer to evidence than you realize. What you sense stirring in your spirit is not imagination. It is confirmation. Heaven has been arranging a divine exchange behind the scenes, and now the curtain is about to rise. Everything that once opposed you is bowing to the authority God placed on your life. You are stepping into the visible manifestation of promises long whispered over your destiny. Anointed one, this next phase of your journey will feel like walking through open gates. The resistance you fought for years is lifting. The obstacles that slowed you are dissolving. Opportunities that once seemed out of reach are now approaching you with ease. This is what divine transfer looks like. What was once withheld is released. What was once hidden is revealed. And what was once delayed is accelerated. Chosen one. The reason your kindness carried so much weight is because it was birthed from purity. You did not give to be seen. You gave because your spirit was compelled. You did not serve for applause. You served because love overflowed. And heaven always honors pure motives. That is why your life is about to reflect blessings that do not make sense to human logic. People will ask, how did this happen? And the only answer will be, God did it. I know what it is to feel small in the eyes of the world, yet mighty in the eyes of heaven. I know the tension of holding promises while walking through silence, and I know the beauty of watching God suddenly unfold what he had been quietly building all along. Anointed one, that is your story now. The season of silence is over. The time of unveiling has begun. Chosen one. Wealth is not the only sign of this transfer. Peace will flood your atmosphere. Joy will become your portion again. Strength will return to your bones. Vision will sharpen. Relationships will align. Influence will grow. What God is giving you is holistic restoration. Every broken area will experience healing. Every closed door will be replaced by a better one. Every wound will carry testimony. This is why your journey mattered. So that when the blessing arrives, you will steward it with wisdom. Anointed one, do not shrink back. The favor you are about to walk in may feel overwhelming at first. But it is heaven's design. The stage is not for ego. It is for purpose. You are being elevated because your hands stayed clean and your heart stayed soft. You endured refining, and now you can be trusted with responsibility. The influence coming is not random. It is assignment. Chosen one. Prepare yourself mentally and spiritually. Expect the phone call. Expect the contract. Expect the unexpected blessing that arrives without explanation. Do not question whether you deserve it. God has already decided you do. This is not charity. This is covenant. It was written for you before your first breath, and now it is unfolding in your lifetime. Anointed one, lift your head. Smile again. Hope again. Believe again. For what is rushing toward you cannot be stopped. Your kindness triggered it, and heaven is fulfilling it. This is your moment of supernatural transfer, and your life will never be the same again. Chosen one, pause and let this truth soak into your spirit. You are not at the end of a cycle. You are at the beginning of a divine unveiling. Everything you walked through, the tears, the setbacks, the lonely nights, was shaping you into someone who could carry this level of blessing without breaking. Heaven has not only remembered you, heaven has prepared a table for you. Now the feast is ready, and your name is written on the invitation. Anointed one, you need to see this clearly. The shift is not only about money or material provision, though those things are coming. The shift is about identity, about you stepping fully into who you were always meant to be, the kindness you gave when no one saw it, the obedience you carried when no one clapped, the faith you held when everything told you to quit. These are the very reasons heaven is opening the vaults in your favor. What you planted in secret is about to bloom in public. Chosen one, you are stepping into a season of recognition, but not the shallow recognition of people's applause. This will be the recognition of divine authority. People will sense the oil on your life before you even speak. Your presence will shift atmospheres. You will walk into rooms where others have fought to be noticed, and without striving, you will carry influence because heaven has marked you. This influence will not be about fame. It will be about impact, about kingdom purpose, about legacy that reaches further than your own lifetime. I know what it is to live faithfully when no one notices. I know the ache of giving when it feels like you have nothing left to give. Yet I also know the miracle of watching God restore more than I lost, elevate me beyond what I expected, and open doors I never could have forced. Anointed one, the same God who proved himself faithful to me will prove himself faithful to you. His character does not change. His promises never fail. His word never returns void. Chosen one, expect the unusual. Expect phone calls from people of influence who cannot shake the memory of your kindness. Expect opportunities that make no sense in the natural, but fit perfectly in the spiritual. Expect resources that flow into your hands, not because you begged for them, but because heaven commanded them. You are about to see what it means to live under divine sponsorship, to be funded by favor and carried by grace. Anointed one, Do not minimize what is coming. This is not a small token. This is not a casual blessing. This is a supernatural transfer designed to establish your destiny and confirm your calling. The weight of this blessing is heavy, but you are ready to carry it. The refining fire has strengthened you, and the trials you endured have equipped you. You will not mishandle what is about to be placed in your hands, because you have been forged in hiddenness for such a time as this. Chosen one, lift your spirit. Hope again. Believe again. The signs are already around you if you look closely. Align your words with faith. Align your thoughts with expectation. Heaven is not only responding, it is releasing. The compassion you faithfully planted has become the harvest. Heaven is now bringing forth. Step ahead with courage. Chosen one, because this is the season appointed for your breakthrough. The divine transfer has already begun, and your life is entering a chapter that will never resemble the past again. Beloved, chosen one, receive these closing words with an open heart. Your arrival at this moment was never the result of coincidence. Long before today, heaven arranged every step that would bring you here, so you could receive this confirmation at your divinely appointed Kairos moment. Every act of kindness you offered without recognition has remained before God. Every seed you sowed in silence is now preparing to bloom where everyone can see the fruit. Even now, a supernatural release is unfolding on your behalf. What God has established cannot be delayed by people, circumstances, or opposition. His purpose is advancing, and no force has the authority to cancel what he has already declared over your life. Anointed one, I speak a blessing over you today. May your hands continually find provision. May your heart remain filled with lasting peace that no trial can steal. May the favor of the Lord surround you on every side, guarding your path like an unshakable shield. May every opportunity that has remained closed until now open at exactly the right moment. Every sacrifice you believed had gone unnoticed has been counted in heaven. Every hidden act of faithfulness carries a reward, and that reward is being released according to God's perfect timing. Stand with confidence. Chosen one, walk forward, knowing that your strength does not come from your own abilities, but from the one who called you, prepared you, and carried you through every season of testing. He has refined your character through the fire, and your humility has become the foundation for the honor he is now placing upon your life. Your faithful obedience has positioned you to receive abundance beyond what you imagined. Hold tightly to this message. Continue walking in alignment with God's direction. Remain steadfast in faith, and expect to witness undeniable evidence of his promises unfolding before your eyes. If these words have echoed what the Holy Spirit has already been speaking within your heart, declare your agreement in the comments and become part of this growing community of believers who are walking together in faith, purpose, and divine alignment. May your journey continue to overflow with God's provision, supernatural peace, and unwavering favor until we meet again. Remain chosen, remain faithful, remain anointed. May the Lord richly bless you, establish every step you take, and fill your life with his abundant goodness, today and always. Beloved chosen one, listen with an open heart. You have not arrived at this moment by chance. Heaven has carefully directed your steps and brought your spirit into alignment with this appointed hour. This is far more than coincidence. It is a divine encounter designed specifically for you. The timing is perfect. God has interrupted your day because you are standing at the doorway of a supernatural financial breakthrough. The provision you have prayed for, the increase you believed had been delayed, and the blessings heaven promised are no longer distant hopes. They are beginning to unfold before you. Faithful one, every restless night you endured, every tear you cried in silence, and every season when you questioned whether God still remembered your prayers was preparing you for this very moment. As Habakkuk totally reminds us, the vision awaits its appointed time. Though it seems to linger, it will surely come to pass and will not fail. That appointed season is no longer somewhere in the future. It has arrived today. The Spirit of the living God declares that your season of lack is coming to an end. The delays that once surrounded your life are giving way to divine acceleration. The inheritance prepared for you is being released according to God's perfect timing. What God is placing into your hands is greater than financial increase alone. He is entrusting you with resources that will fulfill purpose, establish lasting legacy, and break generational patterns that have held others captive for far too long. Lift your eyes with expectation. Open your heart in faith, because this message is your confirmation. Heaven has already begun the work, and the divine transfer appointed for your life is now in motion. Chosen one. Understand this truth. Sudden increase is not merely about receiving more possessions or watching numbers grow. It is a sacred assignment that reveals the true condition of the heart. What appears to be a blessing on the outside is also an opportunity for God to examine what lies within. It becomes a test of your intentions, a measure of your faithfulness, and a reflection of your identity in Christ. When the burdens of unpaid bills disappear, when survival is no longer your daily concern, and when provision becomes abundant instead of scarce, heaven watches closely to see whether your heart remains firmly rooted in humility and dependence upon God. True prosperity is not measured by what you possess, but by how faithfully you honor the one who provided it. The blessings of heaven were never intended to replace your trust in God. They were meant to strengthen your testimony, expand your influence for His kingdom, and allow His goodness to flow through your life into the lives of countless others. Remain faithful in abundance, just as you were faithful in adversity. Continue seeking God's voice above every opportunity, and let gratitude guard your heart from pride. When your character grows alongside your blessings, the favor of heaven will continue to rest upon you, and the resources entrusted to your hands will become instruments of purpose, compassion, and lasting impact for generations to come. Anointed one, lack forces you to be cautious. In lack, you pray over every decision, weigh every dollar, and move with care. But when abundance arrives, choices multiply. And with choices come temptations. Wealth does not just hand you comfort, it hands you power. And power is like a mirror. It reflects what is hidden, the quiet wounds from childhood, the need to be seen, the fear of being overlooked, the craving for validation. Suddenly, what once whispered within your heart begins shouting in your spirit. If you are not grounded, wealth will rule you instead of serve you. Many believe that God releases wealth to flaunt His favor. But chosen one, favor is never for flexing. It is for stewardship. Wealth is not a trophy you hold up to be admired. It is a tool forged for impact. And in unhealed hands, that tool becomes a weapon of destruction. That is why God allows delay, not because He has denied you, but because He is preparing you. Delay is His way of burning away greed, uprooting insecurity, and strengthening your soul until you can handle the weight of abundance. I know the sting of delay. I have walked through seasons where the heavens felt silent, where my bank balance mocked me, where I questioned whether the promises would ever manifest. Yet now, I see the truth. Delay was disguise, protection in its purest form. Because wealth in the hands of the broken is like fire in the wrong place. It doesn't refine. It consumes. God sat me down and stripped me of the need to impress people who never truly cared. He forced me to face the parts of myself that craved applause. He pressed me until ego cracked and eternity could rise. Looking back, I see it was mercy. If sudden wealth had come too early, I would have wasted it trying to prove myself to people who don't even remember my name today. Chosen one. Understand this. Wealth is less about celebration and more about preparation. It reveals what you love, who you trust, and what still needs to be healed. Many will pray for breakthrough, but curse the exposure that comes with it. But if heaven is positioning you now, it means one thing. God has weighed your soul and whispered, "You are ready." So, do not despise the training. Do not despise the waiting. If you feel the ache of delay, remember, it is not punishment. It is preparation. Heaven is ensuring that when wealth is placed in your hands, it will not drown you, but deliver you. And when it comes, the world will not just see your prosperity, they will see your purity. You will stand as proof that wealth in the hands of the chosen one becomes not just provision, but a living move of God. Chosen one. Let me tell you something that most people never realize until it is too late. Money does not change you. It magnifies you. Wealth is like a microphone placed in front of your heart. It amplifies what was already living inside of you. If bitterness has been hiding in the corners of your soul, money will give it volume. If insecurity has been lingering quietly, wealth will put it on display. If hunger for power has been suppressed, financial increase will unleash it into action. That is why sudden wealth can be so dangerous for those who have not done the inner work. When the resources come, they rarely come alone. They arrive with influence, attention, and access. Doors begin to swing open. But those doors do not only lead to opportunity, they also lead to temptation. The applause of people can feel intoxicating. Strangers begin offering approval you never asked for. And if your identity is not secure, you will begin shaping your decisions around their voices instead of God's. Anointed one. I have seen this play out in my own journey. I remember seasons where I told myself, if only I had more money, I'd finally be happy. But happiness was not hiding in the bank account. Happiness had to be cultivated in my spirit first. When joy is missing, wealth will not fill the emptiness. It will only highlight it. Because money is not a fix. It is a flashlight. It shines on the wounds you avoided, the habits you ignored, the fears you buried. This is why God allows long seasons of what looks like lack. It is not punishment. It is training. Heaven gives you time to heal, to shed the trauma, to release the ego, to reshape the patterns that could destroy you later. It is in the secret seasons, when no one is watching, that your true foundation is tested. If you can be faithful with little, heaven knows you can be trusted with more. But if you spend your last dime chasing validation, what will you do when you are holding millions? Chosen one. Wealth will not only make your name louder, it will test your character louder. The spotlight can either be a platform or a prison. If your identity is weak, you will begin questioning who truly loves you, second-guessing every yes, and bending to the expectations of people who never carried your destiny. This is why your preparation season matters more than you realize. It is in this season that God shapes you into someone who can carry blessings without being broken by them. I had to learn this the hard way. I chased approval. I overspent to impress. I let my worth be tied to what I owned. And every time I ended up emptier than before. But through those failures, I discovered the truth. Money is neutral. It only magnifies what already exists. And when you are chosen, God does not want your wealth to shout louder than your wisdom, because wisdom sustains what wealth alone cannot. So, hear this. You are not being delayed because you are forgotten. You are being delayed because heaven loves you too much to hand you abundance before your spirit can handle it. It is God's gift to you. And when the wealth finally comes, you will not be a slave to it. You will master it. And it will serve the kingdom through you. Chosen one. Here is a mystery about sudden wealth that few are willing to embrace. Delay is not denial. Delay is often the greatest form of divine protection to the natural eye. It looks like silence. To the impatient heart, it feels like rejection. But in the language of heaven, delay means you are being hidden, preserved, and strategically prepared. God has not abandoned you. He has been shielding you from premature exposure. Think for a moment about what would have happened if the resources you prayed for had been released too soon. Imagine wealth falling into your hands when your discernment was still undeveloped, when your circle was full of opportunists, when your need for approval was louder than your commitment to purpose. You would have poured your blessings into leaking cups, given access to people who only knew how to take, and mistaken history for loyalty. The very thing meant to bless you would have sabotaged you. Anointed one. I lived this lesson. I once surrounded myself with people I believed would celebrate my rise. But during the seasons of waiting, God let time reveal the truth. Betrayal showed me who could not be trusted. Silence exposed intentions that words tried to hide. Some clapped for my struggle, but would have resented my success. And though it hurt to lose them, it was holy, because heaven understood that wealth given too early is not blessing. It is destruction. Delay was not cruelty. Delay was strategy. When heaven slows you down, it sharpens your discernment. It teaches you to identify the difference between supporters and spectators. It strengthens your ability to walk alone without collapsing. It reminds you that wealth exposes character and exposure attracts opportunists. Without the training of solitude, you would not be able to withstand the weight of abundance. Chosen one. Solitude is not punishment. It is sacred preparation. In that stillness, God stripped away false friends, removed toxic attachments, and forced you to confront wounds you once avoided. He trained you to pray without applause, to build without validation, and to keep moving even when no one noticed. That quiet season was your spiritual boot camp. I remember nights when I thought I had been left behind, watching others celebrate milestones while my life felt paused. But in the silence, I discovered strength I never knew I had. I learned to guard my peace like treasure. I learned to say no with conviction. I learned that sometimes the absence of people is the presence of God. And now I see it clearly. If you cannot protect your peace in lack, you will not survive abundance. What you thought was rejection was actually refinement. Heaven was pruning away the ones who only wanted your oil but never honored your soul. And when the wealth finally arrives, you will understand the wisdom in the wait. You will look around and see that those who remain by your side are the ones who never needed your riches to respect your worth. Chosen one, delay has always been holy. It guarantees that when sudden wealth manifests, it will not be wasted, manipulated, or stolen. It will land exactly where heaven intended, in the hands of those who are chosen, purified, and ready. And you, anointed one, are counted among them. Chosen one, hear me with the ears of your spirit. The wealth coming to you is not for flexing. It is for funding kingdom-level assignments. This sudden transfer is not about shiny purchases, staged photos, or proving to critics that you made it. That vision is far too small for the mantle you carry. The abundance that heaven has aligned for you is sacred currency, entrusted because God has judged your heart ready to steward it with purity, wisdom, and impact. Anointed one, God does not release provision without purpose. Every blessing he pours out carries a divine assignment. The increase about to enter your life is not primarily for your comfort, though comfort will surely follow. It is for your calling. It is to build legacy, to lift burdens, and to create systems that shift lives long after you are gone. That is why your preparation season felt endless. You were not simply waiting for resources. You were being forged into someone who could carry them without being crushed under their weight. I once believed money would erase every problem, that once I had enough, life would finally feel light. But heaven does not prioritize ease. Heaven prioritizes purpose. Wealth without assignment quickly dissolves into emptiness, but wealth aligned with God's plan becomes transformation. Impact is what you were born for. That is why God stripped away your obsession with applause. Why he separated you from people who fed your ego but starved your destiny. Why he called you into silence where your motives could be purified. When the blessing arrives, you will not hesitate. You will know exactly what to build. Chosen one, purpose requires power. And in this world, wealth holds power. You are about to hold both. That is why you were stretched beyond what you thought you could handle. That is why you were hidden while others celebrated. That is why trials burned so deeply. It was not punishment. It was preparation. Heaven was shaping you into someone who could manage abundance without bowing to pride, fear, or greed. This is not the season to stunt. This is the season to build, to fund visions that liberate souls, to support the forgotten, to create sanctuaries where healing can flow, to answer prayers whispered by those who had nothing left but hope. That is the essence of kingdom wealth. That is why what is coming will not only feel like prosperity, it will feel divine. I saw this truth once in a simple moment. Someone on the edge of despair received unexpected provision, and tears of relief flowed like rivers. That day I realized wealth is not about showing success. It is about lifting burdens. It is about becoming the vessel through which heaven touches earth. And when resources are placed in your hands, they will testify that God trusts you with his answers for others. Chosen one. You were never called to hoard riches. You were chosen to distribute hope, to become a divine distribution center. This next season will prove that you are not only blessed, you are entrusted. Walk boldly, knowing heaven's treasury is opening through you, not for applause, but for assignment, not for ego, but for impact, not for performance, but for eternal purpose. Chosen one. Understand this truth. Right now, your life is being studied, not just by enemies or critics, but by financial gatekeepers. There are individuals God is preparing to cross your path, people with the influence to open opportunities that wealth alone could never secure. They include financial leaders, wise mentors, visionary investors, trusted decision-makers, and divine connections you have not yet encountered. They are not simply looking at your abilities, they are quietly watching your character, your perseverance, and the way you remain faithful through every season. To them, promises are not enough. They look for evidence. They value proven integrity over unrealized potential. Chosen one. If you have ever felt as though your labor has gone unseen, know that you are not alone. There were seasons when I also worked without recognition, sacrificed without applause, and whispered prayers that seemed to disappear into silence. Only later did I understand that heaven had never stopped watching, and neither had the people God had strategically placed to observe my faithfulness. They were never captivated by outward appearances or impressive performances. Instead, they paid attention to the strength of my faith. They noticed how I treated people when I had little to offer, whether I chose integrity when compromise seemed easier, whether I continued giving even when it required sacrifice, and whether I remained committed to my calling when no one celebrated my progress. That is the very process unfolding in your life today. Chosen one. Those who hold the keys to future opportunities are rarely persuaded by charm alone. They have encountered gifted individuals and impressive personalities countless times before. What truly captures their attention is someone whose spiritual maturity is matched by genuine humility and whose success is built upon unwavering integrity. This is what distinguishes you from the crowd. You are not merely waiting for financial increase to arrive. In many ways, the opportunities prepared for you are waiting for the moment your character is fully ready to carry them with wisdom. I still remember discovering that someone had been quietly observing my journey for years. I believed my efforts had passed unnoticed, yet they had been watching every season of consistency, every quiet decision to remain faithful, and every commitment I made when no one else was paying attention. When they finally reached out, the opportunity appeared to come overnight. But the truth was far different. It had been developing behind the scenes for a long time. This is often how God works. Heaven prepares the harvest long before it becomes visible. While you believe nothing is changing, unseen doors are being aligned, hearts are being moved, and divine relationships are being established. When the appointed moment arrives, what appears sudden to others is simply the visible fulfillment of a process that heaven has been orchestrating all along. So remain steadfast. Continue serving with excellence, walking in humility, and honoring God, even when no one seems to notice. Every faithful decision is strengthening the foundation beneath your future. The right people will recognize what God has been cultivating within you, and when they do, they will not merely see your talent, they will see a life that has been prepared to carry lasting favor, influence, and purpose. The breakthrough looks sudden, but the preparation has been long. Chosen one. Do not despise this season of little. It is the very season qualifying you for more. Every detail matters. The way you manage your time, the way you handle your emotions, the way you treat people who cannot repay you, these are being weighed. God is testing you in private so you can be trusted in public. The gatekeepers are watching to see if you are building with purpose or chasing trends. Anointed one. You may feel overlooked, but you are not forgotten. You are being documented. Every act of faith, every decision of integrity, every step of obedience is writing a record. And when heaven decides the time is right, the gatekeepers will act. Some will fund, some will align, some will connect you with platforms you never imagined. And it will seem sudden, but you will know it was earned in the quiet, through perseverance when nobody cared. So hear me. Stay excellent. Do not cut corners because no one is watching. Do not grow weary in well-doing. Keep sowing. Keep serving. Keep building. The right eyes are already on you. The sudden door will open. And when it does, you will not just be given wealth. You will be trusted with it. That is the difference between those who stumbled into riches and those who are chosen to carry legacy. Chosen one. Keep showing up with faith. Your preparation is almost complete. And when the release comes, you will carry it with wisdom, power, and undeniable grace. Chosen one. There is a hidden truth about sudden wealth that few ever prepare you for. It will not only elevate you, it will also expose others. Wealth is not just a blessing. It is a mirror. It reflects motives, reveals wounds, and shakes the fragile foundations of those around you. People who once thought they knew your story will be confronted with a new chapter they never expected to read. Anointed one. You were the underdog. You were the one they laughed at, the one they overlooked, the one they counted out. They thought you would stay small, stay silent, stay stuck. But God, in His perfect timing, chose to raise you up, and when He did, your breakthrough became a disruption. To them, it feels unfair. To heaven, it is alignment. Some will call your success luck. Others will assume manipulation or shortcuts. They will invent stories to dismiss what God is doing in your life, because accepting the truth would require them to face their own neglect, their own pride, their own refusal to grow. They do not hate you. They hate the reflection your rise places in front of them. Wealth forces them to see what they avoided. That favor cannot be bought, and destiny cannot be controlled. I remember walking into rooms where people who once supported me suddenly grew quiet. The atmosphere shifted. Eyes that once cheered began to compete. What I learned in those moments is that success does not create jealousy. It reveals it. Sudden wealth has a way of unmasking hearts. It shows who was clapping for your potential and who was secretly waiting for your failure. Chosen one. Your glow will make people squint, not because it blinds them, but because it tells the truth. Your rise testifies that God promotes based on purpose, not popularity. Heaven does not scan resumes. It searches hearts. That is why you were chosen. That is why you endured hidden seasons, betrayals, and nights of silence. Every delay was proof of preparation. And now, the evidence of that preparation is becoming visible. Do not waste energy defending yourself. Let them talk. Let them assume. Let them dismiss. Your life will preach louder than your words. What they call luck, heaven calls legacy. Your wealth is not about revenge. It is about restoration. Restoration of what was stolen, overlooked, and denied. Restoration for your family line, where poverty once reigned. Restoration for every dream that seemed buried. I have lived this. Someone once told me I would never rise, that I was destined to stay small. Years later, they watched the fruit of what God had built through me. and I realized I did not need to clap back. The evidence spoke for itself. That is the gift of sudden wealth carried with humility. You no longer need to prove anything. Chosen one. You are not only rich in resources, you are rich in resilience. That resilience is something they will never understand. Your rise is not coincidence. It is confirmation. Heaven's hand is on you, and no opinion can cancel that. So, walk boldly. Expect resistance, but expect vindication. Let your wealth become restoration, not retaliation. That is the true mark of the chosen one. One of the hardest truths you must face about sudden wealth is the isolation it brings. Everyone talks about the blessing, the lifestyle, the elevation. But few talk about the silence. The higher God lifts you, the quieter your circle becomes, not because you have changed, but because people around you begin to change in how they see you. Anointed one. Money does not just shift your status, it shifts your relationships, your boundaries, and your atmosphere. People who once loved your company may now demand access to your blessings. Others will guilt you for not giving more, doing more, or staying the same. Some will even accuse you of forgetting your roots, when in truth, you are simply protecting your peace. I know this pain firsthand. There was a season when I thought success would mean finally being surrounded by celebration. Instead, I discovered silence. Some who once cheered me on began to compete with me. Others disappeared without a word. A few pretended to support, but secretly hoped I would fall. The loneliness cut deeper than I expected. But eventually I realized it was not punishment. It was protection. Chosen one. God knows that not everyone can walk with royalty. Some people were only meant for your survival season, not your abundant season. If they had access to your overflow, they would have drained you dry. That is why your circle shrank. That is why the conversations shifted. That is why the silence grew louder. Heaven was refining your environment. The truth is, isolation in abundance can feel heavier than lack. When you are broke, at least you know who is truly with you. When you are elevated, motives become blurry. The ones you trust may begin to see you as an opportunity. And if you are not grounded, that realization can feel suffocating. But if you are rooted, you will recognize it as sacred. Solitude is where God speaks most clearly, where strategies are birthed, and where wisdom is sharpened without distraction. I remember sitting in my room wondering why friendships faded and why the phone no longer rang. Then I heard it in my spirit. You are not being rejected. You are being refined. Suddenly, I understood. God was protecting me from voices that would have diluted my destiny. He was guarding me from hands that would have wasted my resources. He was making sure I knew how to stand alone, so that when I stood in abundance, I would not crumble under pressure. Chosen one. The isolation you feel is not exile. It is elevation. It is a sign that you have been set apart, not pushed aside. And though it hurts, it is holy. God is teaching you to trust His presence above popularity. He is showing you that His approval is greater than applause. He is preparing you to carry wealth in silence, with wisdom, without needing validation from the crowd. So, do not despise the loneliness. Embrace it. It is proof that you are being prepared for more. When the silence grows, lean closer to God. When the circle shrinks, know that heaven is enlarging your capacity. You are not alone. You are aligned. And the isolation you feel today is the foundation of the influence you will carry tomorrow. Chosen one. Listen carefully. Sudden wealth does not only bring blessings, it also brings battles. And the most dangerous battles are not always obvious. The enemy knows he cannot stop the transfer, so he tries to contaminate it. That is why some of the biggest traps you will face in this season will not look like traps at all. They will look like opportunities. They will look like doors flung wide open. Partnerships that seem perfect. Investments that promise to multiply fast. But not every open door is divine. Some doors are disguised, snares designed to capture your destiny. Anointed one. The adversary funds. 2. He sees the impact you are about to make, the healing you are about to fund, the lives you are about to change. And when he realizes he cannot block the blessing, he attempts to twist it. He sends counterfeits, people who look clean on paper but are toxic in spirit, voices that sound supportive but carry hidden agendas. They mirror your language. They echo your vision. They tell you everything you long to hear, but under the surface is control, manipulation, and bondage. These are not just business deals. They are demonic contracts written to bind your purpose. I remember a time when an offer came my way that looked flawless. It promised resources, visibility, influence. Everyone told me to say yes, but something inside my spirit was unsettled. I prayed, and God revealed the truth. Had I taken it, I would have lost my freedom. My message would have been silenced. My assignment diluted. My future tied to a system I was born to break. Saying no felt risky, but that no preserved my destiny. That is why discernment matters more than numbers. Chosen one. In this season, you cannot afford to decide with your eyes alone. You must decide with your spirit. Ask, who is funding this? What do they stand for? What is the long-term cost? Does this agreement align with your assignment? Or does it pull you away from it? If it requires you to compromise your values, silence your voice, or dilute your calling, it is not from God. A deal that looks good but robs you of freedom is not a blessing. It is a trap. This is why God allowed you to endure seasons of hiddenness. He was training your ears to hear his whisper, even when the noise of opportunity grew loud. He was stripping away desperation so you would never grab at the wrong thing out of fear of missing out. He was teaching you to trust peace more than pressure, discernment more than digits, alignment more than applause. Anointed one. Wealth with bondage is not blessing. It is slavery. You are not called to build something contaminated. You are called to build something pure, holy, and liberating. That is why your resources must remain clean, your partnerships aligned, your motives anchored in truth. Heaven trusts you to protect what you carry. Do not fear walking away from what looks good if it does not feel right. The right opportunity will not pressure you. It will confirm you. The right partnership will not silence you. It will strengthen you. Remember, what God gives will never require you to sell your soul to secure your seat. Chosen one. Pray before you sign. Wait before you leap. And trust before you move. This is not just about wealth. It is about legacy. Protect it, guard it, and carry it with reverence. Chosen one. As we close this word, let your spirit rest in the truth. Heaven's hand is already moving. Chosen one. Understand this with confidence. You are no longer simply waiting for God's promise to arrive. The blessing has already been prepared. What remains is your willingness to walk completely in step with His purpose. This is your Kairos season, your divinely appointed moment. Even now, the signs are beginning to appear, and the doors God has chosen to open cannot be closed by any human hand. Anointed one, may the peace of God stand guard over your heart, and may His wisdom direct every decision you make. Let every whisper of fear and every voice of doubt lose its power. Instead, may your faith rise with unstoppable strength, flowing like a river that refuses to be contained. What the Lord has begun in your life cannot be reversed by any circumstance. You are no longer standing on the threshold of change. You are stepping fully into it. Every season of waiting served a purpose. What once felt like delay was actually preparation, shaping your character for the blessings now being revealed. The time of manifestation has arrived. I declare that heaven will give you the strength to carry every responsibility that accompanies the favor being poured into your life. I pray for discernment, so you will recognize the right voices to trust, the right opportunities to embrace, and the right paths to follow. May your heart overflow with joy that remains steady regardless of circumstances, and may God's provision continue to sustain you without end. The increase coming into your life is about far more than financial prosperity. God is entrusting you with a lasting legacy. Through your obedience, prayers will find their answers. Weary hearts will discover hope, and generations will experience freedom because you chose to remain faithful. Beloved chosen one, continue walking in unwavering obedience. Stay closely aligned with God's direction, and protect the purity of your heart. For it is within a surrendered heart that the seeds of heaven's abundance grow, flourish, and multiply beyond imagination. Move forward with gratitude, fully convinced that you are already witnessing the fulfillment of God's promises. Every step you take in faith is another reminder that His word never returns empty and His timing is always perfect. If this message has confirmed what God has already been speaking to your spirit, share your testimony in the comments. Your story may become the encouragement someone else has been praying to receive, reminding them that God's promises remain alive and active today. Remain connected to the Lord. Keep your expectations anchored in His faithfulness. Walk into this new season with courage, confidence, and unwavering hope. You are not walking this journey by yourself. Heaven is with you. God is guiding you, and His favor surrounds you every step of the way. May the Lord richly bless you, strengthen your faith, and lead you into a future overflowing with peace, purpose, provision, and His everlasting presence.